Hi there, my name is SunGod. From time to time, I'm asked why I'm not playing Ark Survival Ascended. After all, it's the latest and greatest version of Ark, right? Before I can really answer that question, a little context might be in order. I first played Ark when I bought it on August 9th, 2015. Yep, that's right. I've been playing Ark for over 8 years now. Before then, I'd seen the teaser video of the T-Rex blasting through the tall defensive wall around the village, and I was floored. It looked absolutely amazing, and I so wanted to play an awesome dinosaur game. I mean, who didn't? There's a reason it sold like a gazillion copies. Since then, I've invested 4,353 hours into the game. I've run private servers, I've played with friends on other servers, and I've watched the game grow and evolve. I've seen the expansions come and the mods go. I'm not resistant to change, not at all. In fact, I actually do embrace change, especially when it's for the better and gives me new experiences and challenges. So, when I'd heard in the past that there was going to be a sequel to Ark, I was pretty stoked. I mean, who wouldn't want a game that would be presumably better? Whenever I hear about a sequel, especially one that's supposed to come out after almost a decade after the original, it's safe to assume there will be a new engine, better graphics, and a generally more awesome experience. Plus, Survival Evolved was hardly the most optimized and bug-free experience, so it could only get better, right? I was primed for a new version of Ark. I was ready. So, fast forward to late 2023, when we all caught wind of Ark Survival Ascended. Like everybody else, I was eager to learn more, but I was confused by the messaging that we were getting. Was Ascended the new name for Ark 2? How similar was Ascended gonna be to Evolved? Or was it gonna be totally different? Like you, I lived in an information desert. Because, let's face it, Snail and Wildcard were really terrible about communicating meaningful details about Ascended. So, like you, I waited. And waited. And waited. And then suddenly, one day, out of the blue, Ascended dropped. It was out, with barely any kind of publicity. It was just there. Okay, yep, I bought it. And I played it for a couple of days, and ran into crash after crash after crash. It was so bad that I had to give up playing for several days while the worst crash bugs were getting sorted out. Ascended's launch was painful. We all know that. I lived it too. And when you're a YouTube creator, the one thing you absolutely cannot have is an unreliable game that won't let you create new footage for new videos. And Ascended was not letting me do that. So, I made the call to stick to Evolved for the time being. Why? Well, Evolved worked. It had more maps than Ascended. It had a ton of mods that I needed that didn't exist for Ascended at the time. And largely, that's all still true today. As a YouTube creator, content is my lifeblood. And there are still an awful lot of Ark players that enjoy Evolved and consume content for it. As some of you know, in my past life, I worked in the video game industry for some of the biggest publishers of the time. And yes, I was on development teams, and I have burned the midnight oil for months on end, and I know full well how hard making games can be. It's grueling, brutal, and all-consuming work. I worked on 35 different games myself over the better part of a decade. So believe me, I know the drill. It's tough. I appreciate the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into making and releasing a game. It is the hardest fun job you will ever have, but it is really, really, really hard. But being honest here, in my professional opinion as a game industry veteran, the entire release of Ascended was a complete and utter shit show. Wildcard simply fucked up the release of ASA big time. And I hate saying that, but look, we know it's true. And that's not the opinion of some rabid fan that's never made a game ever and will never make a game. That's the opinion of somebody that's been responsible for the development and release of dozens of games. Wildcard and Snail just botched the product itself by limiting it to a single map that we all played back in 2015. It offered no new notable dinos, it had no mod support, and it was buggy as hell. Its communication to its loyal paying fanbase was just atrocious. Look, I don't need to tell you all of this. Notable YouTubers like Netty the Noodle, Ross Clark, and others covered all of this ad nauseum, and I pretty much agree with them. The state of Ascended is just bad. And as a content creator, I have to ask myself what benefit I would get from switching to Ascended. And the answer I keep getting back is nothing. I'd get nothing out of it. I've invested 181 complete days of my life in Evolved, and I still love it. I have no regrets, and it's been a blast, so I see no point in giving up now because Ascended has some real birthing pains. Hey, some people love Ascended, and that's awesome. I am happy for them. I am casting no shade whatsoever for what people like to play. Play it away and have a great time. I'm 100% behind you. But for me, right now, that's not Ascended. Sure, as time moves on, I'll check in on Ascended to see how things are coming along. But also based on what I'm hearing about the Ascended roadmap, in a couple of years it might get around to releasing all the same maps that I was able to play years ago in Evolved. And some of them I don't even care about. Right now, to me, Ark is Evolved. Ascended is like the ambitious young kid that wants to become Evolved when it grows up, but it's far from having all the qualities that makes Evolved the star. So that is my relationship with Ark right now. Who knows? It may change in the future. Ascended may become amazing eventually. But for now, I'm spending my time with Evolved, and that's just how I like it. But enough about me. What is your relationship with Ark right now? Have you switched over completely to Ascended? Or do you still play Evolved? Are you playing both? I would love to hear your feelings in the comments and what your experience with Ark is today. Well, that's it for me for now. Thanks for listening. Take care.